Bujin is like a structure deck away from being actually like, I wouldn't say competitive, but being like a decent deck. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. Because people think Bujin is just a floodgate deck, right? But if you look at like the new support, this new support is insane. This new support is crazy. Like, this card is insane. This Terrafun card is insane. It's crazy. It's broken. I think the biggest problem with Bujins, the Bujingi cards, they just don't do anything like on the opponent's turn. Like, imagine if like the Bujingis actually did something. Imagine if Turtle was like a negate. Imagine if Hair was like a bounce back to hand. Imagine if Quillen was a pop any face-up card, quick effect. Imagine if like Centipede, quick effect, pop any spell trap card. This deck would be broken. It wouldn't be broken, but it would be pretty solid. But I think the biggest problem with Bujin right now is the Bujingi cards just don't do anything. They just don't do it. They provide protection, which is like really good against hand traps. Like, you play through like Ogre and like Imperm or Veiler, but that's about it. Like, you could like stop like Dark Hole or like, again, like another targeting card. But the problem is like the Bujingi cards just do not do anything. But I think that the new cards like Terrafun, really good card. Matotsu, really good card. Like, insane. Like, both of these cards are like custom cards for this deck. Hirame, it's just an extender. It's really good. Same thing with Arasuda. Really good. In combination with this card, it basically gets you to Yamato, which searches the Mirror Fund, which also gets you to another XYZ. And then Mahatotsu, it gets you another like Bujingi in the graveyard. So you have so many ways, because like Mihatotsu gets out a Bujingi. So imagine if there was actually Bujingi negates. That's 2 negates already, because Mahatotsu, no, not Mahatotsu. Torafun summons out a Bujingi, and then a regular Bujin Beast Warrior. So that's already 1 negate, and then Mahatotsu you banish the Terrafun from the graveyard, and then you send another Bujingi. That's 2 negates, potentially, because you're going to go into Susanoo, and then Susanoo is going to detach the other Bujingi, and that's another negate you could potentially have, or like a disruption. So like, I think the biggest problem with Bujins right now is like the Bujingis don't do anything. Like, this deck could be broken if they just get a Bujingi. Well, also, I think that this deck does revolve a lot around the Terrafun. So maybe if they had like another consistency card or like another extender, this deck would be kind of good. Like, it'd be like a decent like rogue deck at like least. Like, this deck can summon 3 XYZs in a single turn. Nobody ever thought like Bujins can make 3 XYZs in a single turn. It could potentially make 4 because of Heroku. But you can end on 3 Bujin. Technically, you can end on like rank 4s as well. You can go into Dweller. You can go into Tornado Dragon. So not only could you have like these Bujingis in graveyard, you can also have Dweller, Tornado Dragon, Baguska. Like, you can go into these rank 4s, and the deck is like pretty solid. So I think that Bujins is like a few cards away from actually being a really solid deck. Like, all they need is 1 structure deck. I'm telling you, 4 or 5 cards, the deck could be really good. Like, 2 good like Bujingi cards. Like, even if like, they need like a spawn trap card searcher, that's not the Mizuchi or Mikazuchi, because like Mikazuchi's really slow, and like Yamato is like super slow. Like, both of these cards are just way too slow. You're never playing these cards ever. Like, if you think Bujin in 2023 is really gonna summon a Yamato or a Mikazuchi and then end phase search a spell or trap card, or search a monster and then send a card from your hands to the no, you're not doing that. You're going all gas with these like new cards that you got. You're going insane. You're going bonkers. Because a lot of people don't know, all these Bujin XYZ cards, they are insane. They are cracked. Arasuda summons a banish level 4. It doesn't even have to be a Bujin. During either player's turn, it's a quick effect. It's a quick effect. And also on your opponent's turn, it gets a level 4 monster that's banished and adds it back to your hand. So this card is insane. So it's not only an extender, it's also follow-up. So like, this card's good. Susanoo is obviously insane. It's always been good. Because not only is it's like a ultimate conductor channel, which it can attack all monsters. Terra Fund is really good for that because it gets rid of floating effects. So if their monster has to go to the graveyard, you can just banish it. So like Susanoo is still very crazy. It's still the best XYZ in the extra deck, just because it adds or sends to graveyard any Bujin monster. Kagasuchi, this card's crazy. This card's like it's a mill 5. People used to play this in Zodiac decks. They used to like mill the entire deck with grass and Bujin Kagasuchi back in 2017. This card was crazy. It also has a protection effect, which is like really good. And then Tsukiyomi, this card used to be really crazy in ABC. You make this, you draw 2, and the crazy thing about all these cards, they're not once per turn. None of these cards are once per turn at all. Like you can only control them. Like they're soft once per turns. They're not hard once per turn. So as long as you like remove the Susanoo from the field, whether it's like ranking up or like going into another XYZ on top of the Susanoo, or like the Amaterasu or the Tsukiyomi, you can make them again and then search. You can make this again, draw. You can make this again. All of these are not hard wins per turns. The only conditions is that you can only control one of them. So you can't like go Susanoo and then summon another Susanoo without getting rid of the Susanoo and then like search again. You have to get rid of the Bujin. So these cards are very, very insane. I think the worst Bujin extra deck monster is honestly Aashima. Now obviously Aashima is better in non-Bujin decks. It's better in something like, you know, we saw it in Sprite for like a little while. But I think this is better, way better in like non-Bujin decks. So yeah, Bujin is definitely a deck that I think it just needs, again, it needs like more consistency. Like just like 1 or 2 cards. It needs like 2 Bujingi cards that like actually do something, like a pop. Like pop a face a card, negate a card. Like you don't even have to destroy. It could just say negate. It could be like the Ferrari card. It's just negate. And then like maybe a spell and trap, like a spell and trap card searcher, and like maybe like a counter trap, something like that. That's all this deck really needs. And even you don't even need the counter trap part. Like if you just give them like 3 good disruptions that are Bujingis, that's fair enough. Like the deck would be pretty solid without any other support. But I think the biggest problem with Bujins is just the Bujingi cards. They absolutely just do not do anything. So yeah, and like obviously you're always gonna have the flaw of the Bujingis. They're not gonna do anything in your hand, so they're gonna be dead cards. So I guess that you have to play like bricks technically that just don't do anything. But that's fair enough. I don't think this deck is gonna be crazy. I don't think it's gonna be a tier 1 deck. But at least for the deck to be competitive, I think that Bujin 100% needs better Bujingis, because the Bujingis are like super outdated. These cards came out in 2014. It's been almost 10 years. So yeah, I think these are definitely very, very good cards. At least the new ones.